안녕하세요. Hangulish 쌤입니다. Today we are actually going through our very first class of beginner chapter 1. Before we start, I want to share a really useful website for you guys. It is King Sejong Korean Institute Foundation. This is the website. You can find everything related to Korea pretty much here. Under culture, you can see the cultural stuff. As you can see, there are TV channels here, and then there are short videos relates Korean culture. And then if you go to under learning, which I recommend you to use the most, there are lots of textbooks and you can actually find lectures and materials and everything. What I'm going to teach you guys, it's also based on this curriculum. I used this website when I got my certificate for teaching Korean and the degree too. And if you go to Korea information, there's information about Korea and studying Korea, festival and holidays, all the stuff. I just highly recommend you to browse this website. You will find a lot of things that is useful for you. Okay? Perfect. So, our very first chapter 1. It's about introducing yourself. So there are must know phrases that I want you to memorize. 안녕하세요. Again, 안녕하세요. Hello. 고마워요. 고마워요. Or 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다 means thank you. And as you can see, if you went through the basics with me, 고마워요, 고맙습니다, both are thank you, but 습니다 is politer version than 고마워요. There another way to say thank you, 감사해요. Again, 감사해요. Or 감사합니다. 감사합니다. That also means thank you. There's no difference in between these two. It is just a different way to say the same thing. Next, 미안해요. 미안해요. Or 미안합니다. 미안합니다. And this is interesting part because for English speaker, we just say bye for both occasions. But in Korean, there are two different ways. One that when you are leaving, and the one that when you stay, and then when someone else is leaving. So first one, 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요. That is bye when you leave the place. Whereas 안녕히 가세요. 안녕히 가세요. That also means bye, but when you stay and then when you're saying bye to someone who's leaving. Let's quickly go through them once again. 안녕하세요. 고마워요. 고맙습니다. 감사해요. 감사합니다. 미안해요. 미안합니다. 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 가세요. These are the vocabularies I want you to know in this chapter. However, vocabulary is actually technically it's on your own. The more words you know, it's always more beneficial for you to study new language. So these are just the minimum that I'm going to cover during this video, but I want you to keep studying your own vocabularies, okay? First one, 한국, 한국, 일본, 일본. I also recommend you, as I speak each word twice, please repeat after me. 한국, 한국, 일본, 일본, 중국, 중국, 미국, 미국, 독일, 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 호주, 호주, 학생, 학생, 선생님, 선생님, 의사, 의사, 경찰, 경찰, 회사원, 회사원, she, she. As you can see, this she, it's an honorific that works as Mr., Miss, Mrs., everything. So basically, you will find C, it's coming after someone's name. And our first grammar here, noun plus 예요 or 예요. For those who went through the basics with me, you must know this already. It describes or states noun. So it's more likely it is noun when you say noun plus 예요 or 예요. And when the noun ends with 받침, it's 이예요. And the noun ends with no 받침, it's 예요. So 학생. 학생 생 has 받침 here. So it's 이예요. 학생이에요. And this one, 선생님, teacher. 님 has 받침 here. So 선생님이에요. It's a teacher. And next one, 의사. Doctor has no 받침, so 예요. 의사, 예요. 호주, Australia does not have 받침, 예요. 호주예요. Grammar number 2. Noun plus 은 or 는. This one also should be familiar if you watch the basics. It's subjective marker that comes after subject noun. So if the noun with the 받침 it's 은, if the noun with no 받침 it's 는. But again, also this was mentioned in the basics. Whatever is easier to pronounce, that is the one. If you don't want to memorize those patterns. So here, 마이클. 클 has a 받침 here. So 마이클은 학생이에요. Meaning Michael is a student. However, if we put Mr., 마이클 씨는, she doesn't have 받침, so even though it's the same Michael, but because we added Mr., she is going to be 는. 마이클 씨는, Mr. Michael is 학생이에요, is a student. Next one, 민수는. 수 doesn't have a 받침, so 는, 민수는 의사예요. You can always try on your own saying both. 민수은 versus 민수는. 민수는 is somewhat easier. And next part again, Mr. 민수. 민수 씨는 의사예요. 민수 씨는 의사예요. Next one, 리사는. doesn't have 받침, so 는. 리사는 호주 사람이에요. Remember, 사람 was a person, so Lisa is an Australian. And if we add Miss or Mrs., 리사 씨는 호주 사람이에요. Now we have covered two grammars, and let's practice. Lisa, 미국 사람. So this sentence is Lisa is an American, or Lisa is an American person. So Lisa subjective marker 는 미국 사람이에요. Next one, 마이클. So subjective marker with the 받침. 마이클은 회사원 as office clerk and has a 받침 이에요. 마이클은 회사원이에요. Means Michael is an office clerk. Next, 민수는 선생님이에요. Because Sue has no 받침, 민수는 선생님 with the 받침, so 이에요. 민수 is a teacher. And I want you to know, when questioning in Korean, it's much easier than English. You only need to just raise the ending part. Whereas in English, you will have to rearrange the order. For example, Lisa is an American will be, is Lisa an American? We will have to reorder the very beginning. But in Korean is Lisa는 미국 사람이에요. This is a statement. Lisa is an American. But if you want to ask, same. 리사는 미국 사람이에요? You just need to raise the ending as you're indicating that you're asking. 리사는 미국 사람이에요? And I want you to remember, 네 in Korean means yes. Sounds like it's opposite, but 네 means yes. And no means 아니요. 네, yes. 아니요, no. So, if Lisa is indeed an American, 네, 리사는 미국 사람이에요. So you notice it's exactly the same sentence here, which means when you're asked a question in Korean, it's very easy to answer. You just need to say things exactly the same way, but not raising the end. Or if Lisa is not an American, you can just say no. 아니요. 리사는, let's say she's an Australian, not American. 리사는 호주 사람이에요. Perfect. And let's practice the listening here. So we have three options. Number one, she's a doctor with the Japanese national flag. Number two, looks like she is a student based on the uniform she wears, and then she's a Japanese. Number three, it looks like she is a teacher and then she's Korean. And let's find out.
누가 유키 씨예요?
유키 씨는 일본 사람이에요?
네, 일본 사람이에요.
유키 씨는 의사예요?
네, 저는 의사예요.
Okay, let's listen one more time.
유키 씨는 일본 사람이에요?
네, 일본 사람이에요.
유키 씨는 의사예요?
네, 저는 의사예요.
Okay, now let's break it to one sentence.
유키 씨는 일본 사람이에요?
유키 씨는 일본 사람이에요? Miss or Mrs. Yuki, are you Japanese?
네, 일본 사람이에요.
네, 일본 사람이에요. Yes, I am Japanese.
유키 씨는 의사예요?
유키 씨는 의사예요? Mrs. Yuki, are you a doctor?
네, 저는 의사예요.
네, 저는 의사예요. Yes, I am a doctor. After we listen to each sentence, we can tell now Miss or Mrs. Yuki is a Japanese and she is a doctor. So it will be number one. So today we have covered some vocabularies and noun plus yeyo or ieo, which is stating it's noun, and subjective markers in or nin. With those, let's introduce yourself. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll be happy to help you. And I'll see you in next lesson. 안녕히 계세요.